Hello, friends. Okay, so there's this quote or this phrase that I heard. It's progress over perfection. And I love this because it challenges me and my natural sort of hurdles that I have to overcome. Progress over perfection. When you're striving for perfection and you're striving to get everything just right and say everything just right and make sure that you've thought every single possible thing through and everything looks as good as it possibly can look, and it's got to be perfect. The problem with that is you'll never actually launch whatever you're doing. You'll never actually achieve that level. What happens is you just stop making progress. So this is what happens with me. I will do something like build a website. Okay, so maybe this will connect to other entrepreneurs, other business owners out there, or solopreneurs. And you're working on your website and it's got to be just right. And you have to have every word right and you have to have every picture right. And until you get everything just right, you can't launch. And the problem is, as long as you're waiting for everything to be just right, you're not actually doing anything worthwhile. You're not actually making a difference, because instead of taking action, you're trying to make everything perfect, and you don't make progress when you're trying to make everything perfect. What was interesting for me was that I never considered myself a perfectionist. I grew up around other perfectionists, and I always saw how miserable they seemed. I always thought, like, why would I ever want to be a perfectionist if you're unhappy and you're miserable and things are never good enough? So I think I kind of went the other direction. I stopped trying to be a perfectionist and I was just okay being average. And then when I realized, when it came to the things that I really cared about, the things that I really wanted to have an impact in the world, and the things that I really wanted to make a difference in other people's lives, I got stuck in perfectionism. And I wouldn't put anything out into the world until it was perfect. So this phrase, progress over perfection, it's kind of a mantra that I've adopted. I just try to continually remind myself, am I making progress or am I seeking perfection? Because as long as I'm seeking perfection, I'm not making progress. I'm probably just busying myself with things that I don't need to busy myself with. Maybe you're like me, you're using perfection as an excuse to not do the things you want to do, or to not put yourself out there, or to not take a risk because you think you have to be perfect. You think you have to have everything just right. You think you have to know just how to do everything perfectly or people won't like you. Let me just encourage you, instead of seeking perfection in the things you do and in yourself, seek to make progress. Seek to show up. Seek to improve every single day. Seek to put things out there in the world that you know are going to make a difference, even if they're not perfect. Because I can tell you something that I know from my experience, you will never make a difference if you're just trying to constantly get things perfect, because you're never going to be putting anything out there. Progress over perfection. Progress over perfection. I can hear a lot of people probably thinking, yes, but it has to be perfect. It has to be excellent. It has to be just right. And what I've learned is, while I'm waiting to get everything just right, and while I'm trying to do everything with excellence, but I'm waiting for it to be perfect, other people are out there killing it, making a difference, making things happen with things that aren't perfect. So don't wait. Just make progress instead of seeking perfection. Progress over perfection every time. So anyway, hopefully that is helpful, and it's something that you can play in the back of your head too, as you are seeking to improve yourself, seeking to put something out into the world. Whatever it is, it applies across the board. But just remember, progress over perfection.